address.
Great speech.
Joyce Craig was up at the State House today.
Again?
And, yep, posted. She's been up there a couple times already. She's a very active mayor. And she was out there asking for the state to bring rail through Manchester to Boston. And I kind of find it interesting that the mayor has literally been on the job less than 6 weeks, I think, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and she's already up there and she's in front of the committees going after railroad. I don't think rail is the most important issue that Manchester's facing right now. I don't say that it's a bad thing she's doing. I just don't know what the I don't know if there's something coming out up at the State House that they're going to be voting on something. I think the Republicans up there have been pretty saying, no, we're not going to deal. We're not going to spend the $4 million.
I don't see it getting through the House,
yeah,
even with the governor's support. But you know, there's this mystery out there that rail is somehow going to be this economic boon, and you have businesses here locally saying if we had commuter rail, then people who live in the Boston area will come to work here in New Hampshire because they won't have to deal with those clogged, congested highways. Now, I've done some commuting in my time. It seems to me that if you're coming north in the morning, you know, you can fire a cannon on 93 North and not hit anybody.
Correct.
It's the traffic
That's
going
a very
south.
good point.
And at the end of the day, it reverses. The stuff going the stuff going north is awful, and the stuff going south is not. So if the idea is that we have to avoid congested, clogged roadways with commuter rail, then we have to really admit that this is just to help these people who want to get to Boston without having to drive there during the rush hour. Because if it's counter-cyclical to the rush hour, there's no real reason for it. And I have friends who live in Exeter, and not too long ago, you know, the Nor'easter, whatever they call that Amtrak train. Hopefully it's not carrying any congressmen. They brought it through downtown Exeter. I've talked to my friends who live in downtown. I said, what exactly has that train stop done to help downtown Exeter? And every single one of them has said, nothing.
They got a new bagel shop or a new coffee shop, maybe. Maybe a Starbucks moved in because there's a train going through it. Look, a train is it's a cool thing. It's like one of those cool things. But you know what? It's not a cheap thing to do. It's not cheap to drive a train.
Let me put it in perspective for you, right? If we when we built the Civic Center, right? Because everyone talks about this huge demand for rail. So let me try to draw this parallel. If when we built the Civic Center, we said there's this huge demand, and in order for it to work, we're going to have to subsidize the purchase of every ticket, because if we don't subsidize the purchase of every ticket, it will be too expensive and all that demand will magically disappear.
Right.
How many people would have said, oh, not only build that one, but build another one?
Well, the Monarch tickets are $16. If they were going to give me $5 and I only pay $11, I would have really liked that. I don't think the taxpayers would have appreciated it, but
here's
you're
what
right.
they're saying with rail. It's, you know, there's this huge demand, but no one will. No, the ticket prices. People wouldn't buy the tickets because they're too expensive to cover the operations. So if you have to subsidize it in order for it to be viable, is there really a sufficient demand? To me, the answer is no.
You get a call from Bob.
Got a call from Bob. Bob, you're on the line. Thanks for calling in.